Ordinary tasks often carry hidden potential, moments where the mundane transforms into something extraordinary, depending on timing, context, and the person performing them. In environments like the military, where repetition, drills, and routine are central to discipline, ordinary tasks are often overlooked or undervalued. Resetting targets at the range is one of those tasks. It seems simple, repetitive, almost invisible in the grand scale of training exercises. Many recruits might perform it mechanically, moving from one target to the next, ensuring the range remains functional and ready for others to practice their skills. Yet within such seemingly mundane work lies the opportunity for remarkable outcomes. The ordinary nature of the task creates a deceptive calm, a moment where attention is low, judgment is minimal, and expectations are quiet. This is precisely the space where extraordinary moments can emerge because there is no pretense, no pressure to impress, only the task at hand. For the recruit in this story, resetting targets was her routine, a task she had done countless times. She moved with focus, adjusting metal silhouettes, checking alignment, ensuring the targets were correctly set for the shooters who would follow. Those around her barely noticed, assuming that nothing of consequence could occur during such a simple task. This perception highlights a critical truth. Society and structured environments often undervalue routine work, assuming that only visible or high-profile actions matter. However, routine tasks are fertile ground for demonstrating skill, initiative, and resilience. The ordinary can serve as the canvas on which extraordinary actions are painted. Extraordinary moments do not always emerge from planned events or high-stakes assignments. They often arise in the spaces we least expect. A moment of quiet, repetitive labor can suddenly become transformative when an unforeseen opportunity presents itself, when attention shifts, or when the individual steps into the role required by the situation. The recruit's moment illustrates this perfectly. While resetting targets, she was performing a task that seemed invisible to others, yet it was in that very act that her preparedness, awareness, and composure could be measured. The task itself did not demand heroics, but the moment when the SEAL handed her his shotgun changed everything. What was ordinary became extraordinary, because the opportunity intersected with her readiness. This intersection is essential to understanding how routine actions can hold latent potential. The ordinary task functions as a foundation, cultivating discipline, attention to detail, and confidence. By performing repetitive work diligently, the recruit had unknowingly prepared herself for the extraordinary moment. Her hands were steady, her focus sharp, and her mind attuned to the environment. When the SEAL stepped back, leaving her with the weapon, she was able to rise to the occasion precisely because she had engaged with the ordinary work with care and presence. Another important aspect of ordinary tasks becoming extraordinary is perception. Observers often fail to recognize the latent potential in routine work because they are focused on what seems immediately significant. A recruit moving targets may appear insignificant to those expecting flashy skill or dramatic action, but in truth, the ordinary task is often the proving ground for readiness. It is where habits are formed, composure is tested, and attention to detail is honed. In moments of crisis or opportunity, these qualities surface, and the previously unnoticed individual can surpass expectations, surprising even the most seasoned experts. The recruit's story also underscores a broader life lesson. Everyday actions are not meaningless. Even the simplest, most repetitive tasks cultivate character, skill, and readiness. People often dismiss the small things, believing that recognition only comes from major achievements. But history and experience demonstrate repeatedly that ordinary moments can become turning points. When approached with diligence, focus, and presence, routine work prepares individuals to seize opportunities that others overlook. It teaches patience, precision, and the value of consistency. Furthermore, the transformation from ordinary to extraordinary is often catalyzed by timing and context. An unexpected gesture, in this case, a SEAL handing over his shotgun, can elevate routine work into a moment of high stakes and dramatic impact. The ordinary task becomes extraordinary not because the task itself changed, but because the circumstances aligned with the individual's readiness and capability. This alignment highlights the importance of always performing ordinary tasks with attention and integrity. Excellence in routine work lays the groundwork for success when extraordinary moments arise, demonstrating that even seemingly insignificant actions carry immense potential. The story reminds us that extraordinary potential often exists in the shadows of routine and repetition. The recruit, performing a task that seemed invisible to others, embodied readiness and composure, qualities that became evident the moment opportunity presented itself. This illustrates a universal principle. Ordinary actions, when executed with care and presence, can prepare individuals for extraordinary achievement, and moments of skill and composure are qualities that often remain hidden until circumstances demand their presence, and they reveal the true potential of an individual, even when unnoticed by others. In many structured environments, including military settings, people tend to focus on visible achievements, loud displays of talent, or dramatic actions. Yet the most profound demonstrations of capability often occur quietly, away from the eyes of spectators, during moments that appear ordinary on the surface. The recruit resetting targets at the range exemplifies this idea perfectly. At first glance, her tasks seemed mundane, adjusting metal silhouettes, checking alignment, and ensuring that everything was ready for those who would take their shots. No one paid her much attention. Observers assumed that because she was performing a routine function, there was little room for skill or distinction. However, skill is not always about showmanship. It is about mastery of the task, precision in execution, and awareness of the environment. Composure, likewise, is not a performance but a state of being steady, confident, and undisturbed under pressure. The combination of skill and composure is what allows an individual to respond effectively when an unexpected opportunity arises. In this scenario, the recruit's skill had been quietly honed through repetition, attention to detail, and conscientious effort. Every adjustment of a target, every careful step she took across the range, contributed to the development of her technical proficiency and situational awareness. Meanwhile, her composure was shaped by her focus and mental discipline, allowing her to remain calm and measured in the face of routine scrutiny or the occasional dismissive glance from more experienced personnel. These qualities, though unnoticed during the routine, became evident the moment the SEAL handed her his shotgun and stepped back. In that instant, the observer's perception of her changed completely. What had seemed like a simple task now revealed her readiness, her steady hands, and her mental clarity. Skill and composure, cultivated quietly, emerged dramatically when circumstances required them. This principle extends beyond the military setting. In everyday life, many individuals go unnoticed while performing essential tasks or quietly mastering their craft. It is in these unnoticed moments that true potential is often being developed. Observers may not recognize the hours of practice, the repeated efforts, or the mental preparation that underpin the abilities of someone who suddenly rises to meet a challenge. Composure, in particular, is tested when stakes are high, pressure mounts, or expectations are unclear. A person may appear ordinary during routine work, but their ability to remain calm and focused under stress is what allows them to excel in extraordinary moments. In the recruit's case, her composure prevented hesitation, self-doubt, or error when she was unexpectedly entrusted with a powerful weapon. Her skill enabled precise action without fumbling or misjudgment. Together, these qualities transformed a routine task into an extraordinary performance that stunned her observers. Skill and composure are also deeply interconnected. Skill without composure can be rendered ineffective under pressure, as anxiety, distraction, or fear may compromise execution. Conversely, composure without skill may provide confidence, but fail to produce effective results. The recruit's story illustrates how both must be present and cultivated over time. Quiet, consistent practice in ordinary circumstances builds both technical ability and mental resilience, creating a foundation for exceptional performance when the moment demands it. Observers often fail to recognize the latent power of these qualities because they are not always outwardly dramatic. They may not manifest during mundane activities or routine tasks, but they exist nonetheless, waiting for the right circumstances to reveal their impact. This unseen preparation is what distinguishes those who excel under pressure from those who falter. The lesson from the recruit's experience is that consistent attention to developing skill and maintaining composure prepares an individual for moments of unexpected responsibility. It teaches that excellence does not always need an audience, and readiness often emerges from quiet diligence rather than visible displays of talent. Moreover, skill and composure are not static. They require ongoing attention, practice, and self-discipline. The recruit's steady focus while resetting targets was as much about mental training as it was about technical ability. By approaching every task with awareness, care, and precision, she built a reservoir of competence that could be drawn upon in high-stakes situations. The scenario also underscores the importance of trust and observation. The SEAL's decision to hand her the shotgun was informed by recognizing qualities that others had overlooked. Those who develop skill and composure, even in obscurity, often inspire trust and respect when their capabilities are revealed, sometimes dramatically transforming the perceptions of those around them. In essence, the story demonstrates that true potential is not always immediately visible. Skill and composure may develop quietly, unnoticed by others, but when tested, they have the power to astonish, impress, and redefine expectations. The recruit's experience exemplifies the transformative power of these qualities and highlights how preparation, focus, and discipline in ordinary circumstances set the stage for extraordinary achievement. Thatness often emerge quietly from tasks that others dismiss or overlook. Mentorship often arrives in the most unexpected and silent gestures, moments that communicate trust, confidence, and guidance without the need for words. In high-stakes environments like military training, mentorship is rarely just a formal process of instruction. It is a subtle exchange that can profoundly influence a recruit's development, perception of self, and understanding of responsibility. The moment a SEAL handed the recruit his shotgun while stepping back is a perfect illustration of this principle. At first glance, it might seem like a simple act, but beneath the surface, it communicates layers of meaning. By entrusting her with the weapon, the SEAL demonstrates faith in her ability, subtly indicating that he believes she is capable of handling the responsibility. This silent gesture serves as a form of mentorship, teaching her not through words or explicit instructions, but by empowering her to rise to the occasion. Mentorship in these silent forms is powerful because it relies on observation and recognition. The mentor must first see the potential, skill, or composure in the individual before providing an opportunity for them to act. It is a discerning process that requires understanding not just of technical ability, but of character, resilience, and readiness. The SEAL's action shows that mentorship is as much about judgment and trust as it is about instruction. For the recruit, receiving the shotgun without immediate guidance or commentary presents a dual challenge. It requires her to trust herself and her training, and it demands that she interpret the unspoken lesson embedded in the gesture. Silent mentorship teaches recruits to observe, adapt, and take initiative, fostering independence alongside skill. The understated nature of such mentorship is what makes it transformative. Unlike direct teaching, which conveys knowledge explicitly, a silent gesture compels the learner to internalize the lesson, make decisions, and act based on their own judgment. This not only develops technical skill, but also cultivates confidence, self-reliance, and critical thinking. Furthermore, silent mentorship often carries a profound emotional impact. The recruit, realizing that a highly experienced SEAL has placed trust in her abilities, experiences a surge of responsibility, pride, and motivation. The weight of that trust reinforces the significance of her actions and encourages her to perform with focus and integrity. It is a teaching moment that resonates far more deeply than words could convey. Such mentorship also emphasizes timing and context. The SEAL's gesture occurs in a critical moment, when the recruit's skill and composure can immediately be applied. By choosing the precise moment to empower her, he ensures that the lesson is experiential rather than theoretical. The recruit learns not through hypothetical scenarios, but through direct engagement, experiencing the consequences and satisfaction of responsibility in real time. Another critical aspect of mentorship through silent gestures is the modeling of values. In this case, the SEAL demonstrates trust, confidence, and respect for capability. He sets an example not by issuing commands or giving praise, but by showing faith in the recruit's ability to act responsibly. This teaches her that mentorship is not just about learning skills. It is about internalizing standards of conduct, understanding accountability, and appreciating the value of mutual respect in professional relationships. Observers also absorb lessons indirectly from silent mentorship. Fellow recruits witnessing the interaction may perceive the recruit's capability differently, recognizing that respect and trust are earned through demonstrated skill and composure rather than rank or tenure alone. This subtly reshapes the culture of the environment, encouraging peers to develop their own readiness and competence. Mentorship through silent gestures also fosters resilience. When a mentor provides responsibility without micromanaging, the learner is required to confront uncertainty, manage pressure, and act decisively. These experiences build confidence and self-efficacy, reinforcing that competence is not just about completing tasks correctly, but about adapting, making judgments, and thriving in dynamic situations. This type of mentorship is particularly effective in high-pressure, fast-paced environments, where the ability to act independently is critical. The recruit's experience demonstrates that the most impactful lessons are often learned in moments where observation, trust, and empowerment intersect. By stepping back, the SEAL challenges her to rise to the occasion, teaching her more in silence than any lecture or instruction could achieve. The act transforms a routine setting, the firing range, into a profound learning opportunity. Moreover, silent mentorship underscores the mentor's role in shaping potential without overt interference. The SEAL's decision to act subtly allows the recruit to discover her own capabilities, internalize the lesson, and develop confidence organically. It respects the learner's agency while providing a framework for growth. This approach contrasts sharply with environments where guidance is overly prescriptive or where opportunities for independent action are withheld. When mentorship is silent, measured, and intentional, it empowers the learner to take ownership of their development, fostering both skill and maturity. Ultimately, mentorship expressed through quiet, unexpected gestures conveys trust, teaches responsibility, models values, and builds resilience. It transforms ordinary experiences into defining moments of growth. The recruit's encounter with the SEAL exemplifies how mentorship need not be loud, constant, or verbal to be transformative. Sometimes the simplest, most understated actions leave the deepest impression, guiding individuals toward realizing their full potential. Courage is most vividly demonstrated in moments when the stakes are high and the expectation of success is uncertain, and it is often in these moments that the underestimated reveal their true capabilities. For the recruit at the firing range, courage was not about performing a heroic act in front of an audience or receiving immediate recognition. It was about stepping up when responsibility was placed squarely in her hands, unexpectedly and without warning. Resetting targets had been her routine, a task unnoticed by most. But the moment the SEAL handed her his shotgun and stepped back transformed a familiar environment into a testing ground for bravery. Courage in such scenarios is intimately tied to the willingness to embrace risk, to confront fear, and to act decisively despite uncertainty. The recruit had to overcome the natural hesitation that arises when entrusted with a weapon far more powerful than she had previously handled in such a critical context. This act of stepping forward required inner strength, a composed mind, and a readiness to trust her own skills. Many underestimate courage because it is often subtle, quiet, and uncelebrated. It does not always manifest as loud declarations or overt heroics. Sometimes, it is demonstrated in small but consequential choices. In this case, the courage to take responsibility, to act decisively in a moment that could have revealed weakness, exemplifies the depth of character that is often hidden beneath appearances. The act also highlights the interplay between opportunity and preparedness. Courage alone is insufficient if it is not supported by skill and composure. The recruit's ability to handle the shotgun effectively, maintain her focus, and achieve the intended outcome was the product of prior training, attention to detail, and mental discipline. Courage becomes transformative when it is coupled with competence, allowing an individual to not only face fear, but to overcome it successfully. Additionally, courage in high-stakes moments often carries an element of vulnerability. The recruit was exposed in front of her peers, in a scenario that could have led to failure or embarrassment. Vulnerability amplifies the significance of courageous action because it requires individuals to act despite the possibility of judgment, mistake, or criticism. By choosing to embrace that vulnerability and step into the challenge, the recruit demonstrated that courage is as much about mental fortitude and self-trust as it is about outward performance. Courage also serves as a catalyst for perception shifts. The SEAL's gesture placed the recruit in a position where her actions would redefine how others saw her. Prior assumptions of capability, confidence, or strength were challenged as she handled the responsibility with precision and composure. Moments of courage have the power to disrupt expectations, especially when the individual has been underestimated or overlooked. Observers often internalize lessons from witnessing acts of courage, recognizing that true strength is not always visible beforehand but emerges under pressure. Moreover, courage in these circumstances reinforces the broader principle that actions define character more than appearances or assumptions. The recruit, previously seen as just another face at the range performing a routine task, became a figure of competence and bravery through a single decisive moment. This demonstrates that courage is often situational. It is revealed when circumstances demand initiative and resolve, and it is amplified when others have doubted or dismissed the individual's potential. Courage also interacts with trust and responsibility. The SEAL's decision to hand over the shotgun was an implicit vote of confidence, a challenge that required the recruit to rise to the occasion. Courage in this context is not just about personal bravery, but also about honoring the trust placed in one's hands. It requires understanding the weight of responsibility and responding with integrity, focus, and careful execution. This kind of courage extends beyond personal achievement. It has relational and ethical dimensions, demonstrating respect for others and accountability for outcomes. In addition, acts of courage in high-stakes moments foster growth and self-awareness. The recruit's experience at the range likely expanded her confidence, reinforced her belief in her abilities, and highlighted the importance of preparation and readiness. Courageous moments often serve as milestones in personal development, creating lasting impressions that shape future behavior and decision-making. Courage also has the power to inspire. When others witness an individual stepping up under pressure, it can encourage them to confront their own fears, challenge assumptions about limitations, and embrace opportunities they might otherwise avoid. In the recruit's case, her peers and even seasoned observers could recognize that courage is not confined to rank, experience, or reputation, but is accessible to anyone willing to act decisively and responsibly in the right moment. Ultimately, courage in such moments is multifaceted. It combines skill, composure, vulnerability, initiative, and the willingness to embrace responsibility. It transforms ordinary situations into defining experiences, reshaping perceptions, fostering growth, and inspiring others. The recruit's act of stepping forward at the firing range exemplifies how courage can emerge quietly, in unexpected contexts, and with profound impact, especially when the unrespect is a quality that is earned through actions rather than assumed through position or expectation, and it often emerges most clearly in moments when individuals are tested in unexpected ways. In hierarchical environments like the military, rank and authority can compel obedience, but genuine respect is reserved for those who demonstrate capability, integrity, and composure under pressure. The moment when the SEAL handed the recruit his shotgun and stepped back exemplifies this principle perfectly. Prior to that moment, she had been performing a routine task, unseen and unremarkable in the eyes of her peers. Many may have underestimated her abilities, assuming that her presence at the range was inconsequential. Yet respect is not about visibility or prominence. It is about demonstrating trustworthiness and competence when given responsibility. By entrusting her with the weapon, the SEAL created a scenario where the recruit's actions would define the respect she earned. Respect earned through action requires individuals to rise to the occasion, to demonstrate their capabilities under scrutiny, and to act with confidence and precision. It is not automatically granted by title, age, or tenure, but is instead the result of consistent behavior that aligns with principles of discipline, competence, and reliability. The recruit's ability to handle the shotgun effectively, maintain focus, and execute the task correctly allowed her to earn immediate respect from those who had previously overlooked her. This illustrates a key truth. Respect is often revealed in high-stakes or revealing moments, when observers can clearly see the intersection of skill, composure, and character. Another important dimension of earning respect is the alignment of trust and responsibility. The SEAL's gesture implicitly communicated confidence in the recruit's abilities, placing both opportunity and expectation in her hands. By responding successfully, she validated that trust and demonstrated that respect is reciprocal. It is not only about proving oneself, but also about honoring the confidence others place in you. Observers of such moments internalize lessons about capability, judgment, and composure. When peers witness someone previously underestimated rise to meet a challenge, it reshapes their perception, dismantles biases, and highlights the principle that true respect is grounded in demonstrated competence rather than assumption. Respect earned through action also carries lasting influence. Individuals who prove themselves under pressure often inspire trust, admiration, and credibility that extend beyond the immediate moment. Their reputation is enhanced because others recognize not only their skill, but also their integrity, reliability, and poise. This kind of respect fosters a culture where performance, initiative, and accountability are valued over superficial markers such as visibility or seniority. Moreover, the act of earning respect through decisive action reinforces the importance of preparation. The recruit's routine work of resetting targets had cultivated precision, focus, and composure, which she drew upon when the moment of opportunity arrived. Without prior preparation and mastery of foundational skills, respect earned in high-stakes moments would be fleeting or unconvincing. The story demonstrates that respect is cumulative. It is built over time through consistent competence and revealed through pivotal actions that leave observers no choice but to acknowledge capability. Respect also serves as a catalyst for empowerment. When individuals are recognized for their competence, trustworthiness, and courage, they are more likely to take initiative, act decisively in future scenarios, and contribute meaningfully to their environment. In this sense, earning respect is both a personal achievement and a contribution to the broader organizational culture. Another aspect of respect earned through action is its universality. It transcends age, rank, gender, and previous perception. The recruit's peers and observers were forced to reevaluate their assumptions, understanding that ability and composure can emerge from anyone, anywhere, regardless of initial impressions. This fosters inclusivity and a recognition of merit-based credibility rather than arbitrary judgment. Furthermore, the scenario illustrates that respect earned in critical moments often leaves a lasting impression, shaping how the individual is perceived and remembered. High-stakes situations act as accelerators for recognition, where latent abilities and character are revealed in ways that routine performance cannot always convey. The recruit's composure and skill transformed a mundane task into a defining moment that commanded admiration, demonstrating that respect is most powerfully conferred when expectations are exceeded under pressure. The story also highlights the dynamic relationship between respect and responsibility. Being entrusted with a task or weapon carries weight. Successfully meeting that responsibility reinforces respect not only from observers, but also within oneself. Self-respect and confidence are strengthened through the successful demonstration of competence, further enhancing the individual's ability to act decisively in future scenarios. In essence, respect earned through action is multidimensional. It requires skill, composure, preparation, responsibility, and integrity. It is revealed in moments that test character and capability, particularly when assumptions have been challenged or previous judgments have underestimated potential. The recruit's experience with the SEAL illustrates how respect is not automatically granted, but can be powerfully and irrevocably earned through decisive, competent, and composed action in unexpected circumstances, reshaping perceptions and inspiring trust among peers and superiors alike. Underestimated rise to meet challenges that no one anticipated. Opportunity is a force that transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences, and it often presents itself in ways that are subtle, unexpected, and sometimes fleeting. For the recruit at the firing range, the act of resetting targets was a mundane task, one that required focus and diligence but little recognition or immediate consequence. Yet in that routine, an opportunity emerged, a SEAL handing her his shotgun and stepping back, which instantly elevated the moment from ordinary to pivotal. Opportunity is rarely about the task itself. It is about the intersection of preparedness, courage, and timing. The recruit's readiness, developed through consistent attention to her duties and disciplined practice, allowed her to seize the moment when it arrived. Opportunities often lie hidden in routine, requiring individuals to remain vigilant, competent, and composed even when their actions seem unnoticed. Many fail to recognize the latent potential in ordinary moments, assuming that significance only accompanies high-profile tasks or dramatic scenarios. However, it is precisely in these quiet, unassuming contexts that opportunity can emerge most dramatically, testing the skills, judgment, and character of those who are prepared to act. For the recruit, the opportunity was more than the physical challenge of handling a shotgun. It was a test of composure, decision-making, and confidence. The SEAL's gesture implicitly communicated trust and expectation, creating a scenario in which the recruit could demonstrate her abilities and earn recognition. Opportunities of this nature are transformative because they are both unexpected and high-stakes, providing a platform for latent potential to be revealed. The alignment of opportunity with preparation is essential. Had the recruit been inattentive, unskilled, or uncertain, the moment might have passed without impact. But her prior focus on routine, attention to detail, and cultivation of composure created a foundation upon which she could act decisively. This illustrates the principle that opportunity rewards readiness. The more prepared an individual is, the more effectively they can respond when a pivotal moment arises. Opportunity is also inherently relational. The SEAL's decision to entrust her with the weapon created a context that empowered the recruit to act. Opportunity often requires others to recognize potential, to extend trust, and to provide a chance for initiative. It is rarely unilaterally created. It emerges from a combination of individual readiness and external circumstances that allow one's abilities to be demonstrated. Furthermore, opportunity carries an element of responsibility. When presented with a chance to act, the individual must navigate risk, accountability, and decision-making. The recruit's ability to handle this responsibility successfully illustrates that opportunity is inseparable from the capacity to respond effectively. It is not merely a matter of being present. It requires composure, judgment, and skill applied at the critical moment. The transformative power of opportunity is magnified by perception. Observers who witnessed the SEAL's gesture and the recruit's response were forced to reconsider assumptions about capability, composure, and readiness. Opportunity allows latent abilities to surface in ways that reshape understanding and inspire recognition. This dual impact, personal development and social acknowledgement, demonstrates why seizing opportunity is a defining aspect of growth and achievement. Opportunities also teach the value of adaptability. The recruit could not have anticipated that her routine task would become a defining moment. Responding effectively required flexibility, confidence, and the ability to act without hesitation. Opportunity often demands that individuals apply their skills in unplanned, dynamic contexts, testing not only technical ability, but also mental resilience and decision-making under pressure. Additionally, opportunity reinforces the principle that action amplifies potential. A chance alone does not guarantee transformation. It is the decision to act, the execution of skill, and the demonstration of composure that convert potential into tangible impact. The recruit's response to the SEAL's gesture exemplifies how opportunity, when met with preparation and courage, can redefine perception, influence outcomes, and create lasting impressions. Opportunity also has a temporal quality. It is often fleeting and irreversible. Recognizing and acting upon it in the moment requires attentiveness and decisiveness. The recruit's readiness allowed her to engage fully with the chance presented, illustrating that timing and situational awareness are critical components of seizing opportunity. Moreover, opportunity is inherently empowering. When individuals are entrusted with responsibility and provided a platform to demonstrate capability, they gain confidence, self-efficacy, and a sense of agency. The recruit's experience at the range not only tested her abilities, but also reinforced her belief in her own competence, illustrating how opportunity can catalyze growth and personal development. In essence, opportunity is the catalyst that transforms preparation into achievement, potential into recognition, and ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. It rewards vigilance, skill, composure, and courage, while also demanding accountability, adaptability, and decisiveness. The recruit's experience exemplifies how seizing unexpected opportunities can reveal latent strengths, redefine perceptions, and create moments of impact that resonate far beyond the initial context, demonstrating the profound influence that a single, well-timed chance can have on an individual's trajectory.